Today on the Fixit Shed, I want to take a look at the lights on my trailer. So as you notice, this set of lights is not on. I have a feeling that they're not burned out because all three of them are not on. I think that there might be a problem with the wiring or ground or something like that. But while I was testing it, I also noticed that this side light is not on. And this side light is not on. So we're going to take a look at these and see. So these might be burned out bulbs or possibly, just a bad connection and need to be wiggled a little bit to bring them back. But we're going to check them out. All right, so how am I keeping these trailer lights on without the tow vehicle? I've got a motorcycle battery here and a trailer connection that I wasn't using. This came with a light kit that I had bought for a different trailer. But if I just plug that in, boom, you can see my lights came on. So, all right, that's how we're going to test them. All right, for this one, we've just got a couple of Phillips screws to get this lens off. Screws are a bit rusty. This is only a couple, 5 years old. But let's see. Is it burned out or is it just a bad connection? Seems like maybe this one's burned out. Alright, so this is the front socket. I pulled the bulb out of here. This was working. Yeah, it's still working. Alright, so now I'm going to put it in here. And not working. So it's not a problem with the bulb. So that's going to be a problem with the socket or the wiring, so I'm going to have to check that out. Alright, but while we're doing this, I want to check this one. While we're taking things apart. Okay. Okay. This is a different bulb. Alright, I just tested that bulb up front and it's good. So it's a wiring issue again. Interesting. Alright, so the wiring on this trailer is a little bit different than the one I did before. The trailer that I did before, all the wiring ran down the left side of the trailer. This one, they split. So you've got a white wire, which I have represented with a black line, which is the ground wire, and it runs and grounds out around this first light on the left side. And then you have two brown wires. One runs down the left side and one runs along the right side. That's for the running lights. And then you have the yellow wire, which is the left side, and that goes down to the tail light. So that's the brake light and turn signal light. And then the green wire that runs down the right side to the right tail light, which is brake light and turn signal. So the brown wire on the left side also cuts over and connects to the three clearance lights on the back. So right now, this light on the very first one on the left side is lighting up. The one by the wheel is not, and the one on the side of the tail light is not. Also, the three in the back are not. So, I verified that the bulbs in these are good. I thought maybe that they were bad or loose or something, but they seem to be okay. They're just not lighting up. So there's a problem with the wiring after this first light. So somewhere in between these two, there's a break in the circuit. All right, so the front light here is on, and this is the brown wire. There's a black wire that taps into it for this light. And this is the yellow wire that just goes to the back. So these wires actually run in this tube up here. So they don't run underneath the trailer. They're up in this tube kind of up on top of the deck, which makes it kind of somewhat easier to access. It does come from the frame of the trailer, it does come underneath here. How about that? Something here is not a great connection. Okay, so this is the part that kind of seems questionable. So I might replace that. Let's see. What's the back look like? All right, these back three are still out. Let's see. This is... I don't see anything there. So there's more wires hanging down under here. Let's see. Because this side marker light is on. So we're good back to here. So there's just something in the wire going across. So there's one of those connectors right here too. Now, I'm going to have to get a multimeter to see if I can see if we're getting electricity. Oh, they're on. They did come on. I bet they weren't lit up on this side, so I couldn't see them. Interesting. Yeah, wiggling this seems to make them dim. There it goes. Yeah, I just pulled the wire out. That wasn't a good connection. But yeah, right here, this wire just pulled out. So that was just in there. So I don't think... I've heard that people aren't happy with these kind of connectors. So I'm probably going to take that off, put a different kind of connector on there. Alright, so let's get these wires out. Yeah, not a lot of play there. But let's try and strip off a little bit more. Alright, I can do it that way. Okay. Alright, so I got some heat shrink crimp connectors. Wish there was a little bit more wire here. Get that out of the way. Alright, I got that side. And then we're going to get this side. Alright. those are on there. Now I can heat this and shrink that tube down to get a good seal. All right. Yep, we're gonna let that cool off and go do the other one. All right, so this one has 3 wires. You've got 1 black and 2 brown. The black one just goes to the light. So, and then the brown one just goes, is continuing on down the side here. Well, these don't seem to want to come out like the other one did. That's out of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to twist, well, I guess twist these 2 together. Alright, I'll put them on that side. And go ahead and crimp that one. Alright, and then put this one in the other side. Alright. And those seem to be in there pretty good. So let's turn the lights on, make sure that that's good before I shrink it. Alright, lights are working, that looks pretty good. See some of the adhesive glue, whatever, oozing out, so that's should be a good connection now. Alright, so I kind of don't like the way these are hanging down. Once this cools off, I am gonna use some zip ties and hold this up so that it's behind the metal plate here and keep it out of the way. Alright, so I did zip tie some of the excess together, and I'm just going to tuck it up underneath here. Hopefully that'll keep it out of harm's way. There we go. So it doesn't get caught on anything. Alright, so looks like our lights are on the side here. Alright, and in the back they're still off. Don't see anything there. Alright, so I fixed wiring on the corner here, and that looks like maybe it wasn't the only problem. Alright. Alright, so it's kind of hard to show you the lights and the wire at the same time, but if I pull on this wire, so like right now the lights are off, If I pull on it, now they're on. All right, so there's something with this light. So we got to take this apart, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Let me take this lens off, see if I can see anything there. Can't really see much there. So let's take the light off and unbolt it back here. All right, there are just two nuts on the back that hold it on, and they're 7/16. Okay. Now, so this has the license plate bracket on it, which broke off a while ago, so I'm just going to take this off while I'm here, because I don't need it. Alright, now let's see. So there are two brown wires, right? One going in, one coming out. That looks like they've been spray painted over, so it's kind of hard to see. The stop and turn signal is yellow, the tail light are brown, and so you've got one yellow on this side for the stop and tail lights, and then you've got two brown over here, one going in, kind of one going out to the next light. And doesn't look very secure. This wire here is the one that goes back to the three lights on the back. These two come down the side of the trailer. So this one doesn't look like it's in there very securely. You know, and if you push it in, it probably breaks connection. You pull it, there it goes. Now it's out. Kind of. So, need to make a better connection in there somehow. Alright, so really this wire just kind of presses into this hole and gets caught by the metal tab in here. The other two look fairly secure. This one doesn't look like it goes in quite far enough, so I'm going to try and strip away some of the insulation and see if I can poke it in a little bit farther. You know, really, it's kind of the same idea of these, which, you know, these have failed also, so it's not great, but without replacing my lights, you know, that's probably about the best I can do. If this doesn't work, what I might try and do is just cut this wire and splice these two together, but it's still a garbage connection at the, you know, on the inside here, so it's really not an improvement if I do that, but, so I'm going to try and make this work for now. Alright, so let's try and strip just a little bit more of the insulation off of here. See if that helps us. All right, let's see. Yeah, so now I can see the wire is sticking up in through that. So that to me shouldn't pull out, but you know, it looks like a better connection anyway. When I mount the light to the trailer, it does kind of hold the wires in place. So if I move them around a little bit, so it doesn't really seem to affect them. So I'm going to let this go for now. If it becomes a problem, I may revisit it. Unfortunately, the best solution is probably to get lights that have a better connection than this. And I don't really want to do that right now. I'm going to work with it as it is. If it becomes a problem, I may replace them in the future. All right, so if you got something out of this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to help this channel out, please consider subscribing or becoming a member by clicking the join button below. Thanks for watching. Take care.